Let me make a medical disclaimer here first. If you're being medically treated for anxiety, what I'm about to tell you isn't an excuse or reason for you to not listen to what your doctor's telling you, okay? All right, now that that's out of the way, let's just begin. I assume that since you're here with me, you suffer from some form of anxiety. Racing heart, sweaty palms, tingles, head feeling like it's not attached to your body, you feeling like you're not even in that situation, and then impending doom, just fear. Does that describe you? Waking up in a full panic? And we wonder what we've done to get there. I can remember having panic attacks and anxiety that was so horrible that I begged to God or the universe or whoever was listening to either give me a purpose for this pain or take me out of my misery. I didn't want to live anymore feeling the anxiety I was feeling. I don't know if you can relate to that or not, but it wasn't fun. So for those of you that are now, right this minute, dealing with anxiety and panic attacks, I feel you. It is absolutely horrendous. And I've made a video before where I expressed my complete awe at the strength you have to wake up every day, in spite of the fact that you know you're going to feel like you're dying. So let's think about anxiety here for a minute and reframe it a little bit. What if your anxiety wasn't a curse? What if it was actually a gift? How would that change your life? And you're probably sitting there right now going, she obviously doesn't know what she's talking about if she's thinking that this could be a gift. This is the worst thing ever. I know, I feel you, I relate. But here's what I know. Some people who deal with what we call anxiety, what we classify as anxiety, it turns out that it's not anxiety at all. But in our human ability to describe those sensations and those feelings, it sounds an awful lot like anxiety. But this is what I know to be true, okay? For some of us, it's not anxiety at all. It's an awakening that feels a whole hell of a lot like death. When we're forced to raise our frequency so that we can communicate on a different level, that experience feels a lot like anxiety. The anxiety that we feel is an influx of energy that has no place to go. So it produces sensations like racing heart and sweaty palms and tingling all over. And in those cases, it is not anxiety. For those of us blessed to be called for a spiritual awakening, it's not bliss and beauty and ease. It's the opposite, actually. During that phase, it feels a whole lot like my world is falling apart. My life is falling apart. You're not broken. Do you hear me? Living with anxious feelings, even a diagnosis of anxiety, does not mean you're broken. Your pain should have a purpose. I used to find that I'd wake up sometimes and I would have the worst morning ever. I'm laughing about it now because I'm on the other side of this, so I see it a little bit differently. But I'd wake up and feel like, I don't think I can do 5 more minutes of this. I definitely can't do another hour, and I'll be dead if I have to live through the day like this. And then those really, really bad days, it always seemed like there was a reason I should believe my anxiety. I'd get bad news, or something wouldn't work out the way that I planned, or I'd be disappointed somehow. And then I'd be like, you know what? This anxiety stuff, it's real, because every time I feel this, something shitty happens. But now I know I was on a different plane. I was receiving information from somewhere else that caused my body to react the way that it did, because I didn't understand how I could ground myself, how I could use that anxiety for something different. I didn't know that feeling was actually my vibration rising. I didn't know that stuff. So every time something negative would happen, it would be like another excuse to have another panic attack. Another day I could wake up, and obviously I was destined to have anxiety because all this bad stuff kept happening, and it was real. These feelings of impending doom, they were real. However, that was just me receiving outside information. You know what? In 100 years from now, all of this stuff is going to be common knowledge. We'll be able to scientifically explain all of this stuff. But for now, we're left kind of floundering, trying to figure out, well, what does this mean? And where did this anxiety come from? And I didn't sign up to have a spiritual awakening. In 100 years, this will all make perfect sense. But for you and I, pioneers, we have to figure this out on our own. So I'm already quite a few steps ahead of you, and oh so happy to hold out my hand. I've got a few tools that I know that instantly take that from a feeling of anxiety to a feeling of a gift. I know exactly how to take those sensations and ground myself and put myself into service instead of feeling like I was going to die. I would have given anything for somebody to hold out their hand to me at that point when I was feeling at my lowest and say, hey, there's a light at the end of the tunnel. Come with me. I know the way. So I'm doing that for you. I'm going to start some online courses here really soon, and I'm going to show you all of the tools that helped me ground myself, give myself a higher purpose, and be able to receive the information in ways that don't make me want to die. If that sounds interesting to you, I want you to reach out to me, connect with me, send me a private message, and let's put those anxious feelings to bed, okay? You don't have to deal with that stuff anymore. You guys take care.